Hi everyone, it's me, Tiago. Okay, before we start, this video is gonna have major spoilers, so don't stick around if you have not seen Stranger Things Season 3. Go watch it first and then come back. So my video from last week did insanely well. It has gotten hundreds of views in literally a few days. I'm filming this on Tuesday, I think, and it's almost to 500 views. I uploaded it on Saturday night. This is crazy. Thank you guys so much for all the attention that video is getting, and clearly you guys are into this topic, and I am too. I love Stranger Things, oh my god. So anyway, let's get into my next theory about Stranger Things Season 3. Specifically, this one is about Eleven and why she loses her powers at the end of the season. Okay, so I have to admit, this one really stumped me for a while, and I still don't know if I have the answer entirely right. I might even think of like something else later on and have to make an update to this video or something. So I've been thinking about this for a few days, like a while. I've been just mulling over this problem because, like, where do her powers go? It's not explained at all. Like, I'm not satisfied with the explanation that, like, her battery's low and she just needs to recharge. Because then at the end, she's trying to get the teddy bear down and it's still, like, her powers still don't work. So there must be, like, some explanation for this. And I think I may have at least the beginnings of the answer to this problem. So that's what we're gonna look at today. Let's get right into the video. Okay, so the last time we see Eleven use her powers in this season are to get the little bit of the mind flayer out of her leg when it's like writhing around inside of her and she goes like, and then it comes out. So after that in the episode, she tries to use her powers a few times. She tries to move a car, push Billy away, and get her teddy bear down, but none of them really work, and it's not really explained why. So at first, I thought it must be something to do with the mind flayer, and it must be like some kind of sorcery or something. So I looked into Dungeons and Dragons lore and stuff, and I found out a whole bunch of things about mind flayers, which are also known as illithids. I don't know, I don't play D&D either, we're figuring this out together. So illithids are these creatures, they really don't look anything like they do in the show. In Stranger Things they look like this, and in Dungeons and Dragons they look like this, with squid heads and robes and staves. I don't know, very different. Basically, they think they're a superior race, and they try to take over all the other races. And one thing that I found interesting is that they really hate magic and, like, sorcery. I thought this one might be kind of mad at Elle for using this kind of like magic or something, but none of this really fit together, and it didn't explain why she was able to take the thing out of her leg and then lose her powers. It seemed like if it bit her, it would like take them away then. I was super lost. So I thought about it for a while longer, and eventually I came to a conclusion that I'm reasonably satisfied with. I really need more information, and I'm desperately waiting for Stranger Things Season 4, but for now, this is the explanation that I've come up with. Obviously, that worm isn't in her leg at first, so it's not like it just injects this worm into her. It's like somehow forming with her blood. When she bleeds on the floor of the store, it starts moving and like forming together, but it's not like fully coagulated into a creature. And then it kind of forms all together into this little worm that she's able to pull out of her leg. So I think that worm that was inside of her leg is somehow forming as it's leeching her power from her. Okay, so I just finished filming this video and I was partway through editing when I realized that my point wasn't fully like conveyed the way that I wanted it to be. So I'm going back and like explaining things again, and I don't know how much of the two videos I'm gonna like put together, but it'll work. Okay, so here is my theory. That worm that is in Eleven's leg is a part of her. It's forming out of her blood. We see when she bleeds on the floor of the store, her blood starts to kind of coagulate together, but it's not fully formed yet. The mind flayer, by biting her, has somehow like not fully flayed her, not captured her mind, but kind of begun to capture her body. The mind flayer in this season has built itself a new like corporeal, is that a word? It has a body. It's like physical. It's not just like smoke and shadows. It's like a real physical monster now, and it's built its body out of the like innards of its followers. It starts out with like exploding rats that kind of like flow together, and then eventually like all these flayed people start just like collapsing and disintegrating and flowing into its body, and it's just built out of like the guts and bones of all its followers, which seems to me like it's able to control them, like even in death. It controls every bit of their body. Like, it doesn't just control their mind and tell them what to do. It can literally like move their hand for them even if they're dead. And so it forces them to disintegrate and flow into its body, and it continues to control their bodies as its own. And so I think by biting Eleven, it is starting that process with her. Although it hasn't captured her mind yet, it's begun to capture her body and is able to control her enough to make whatever part of her contains her powers combine and turn into that little worm creature that we see that she pulls out of her leg. What this means is her powers are that worm. That worm like is a part of her that contains every bit of her that is like, telekinetic. There's a fly that just flew by my face. So that moment where she pulls it out of her leg and throws it across the room is like the very last dredges of her power. She is literally and figuratively throwing her power away. So as she pulls it out of her leg and throws it across the room, that is the last dredges of her power that she is using to throw away what contains all the rest of it. And so when that worm gets squished by Hopper and then sucked back into the foot of the Mind Flayer, does the Mind Flayer get her powers? So that is the question that I was considering this whole time. Does the Mind Flayer have Elle's powers? Where did they go? Like, what happens to them? Does that little worm give anyone powers if they, like, take it? I don't understand. And I don't fully know. But I think that the Mind Flayer dies quickly enough after that we don't really see if it has her powers, and we don't know if they're still with the Mind Flayer, like the brain of the Mind Flayer in the Upside Down, or if they died with the body of the Mind Flayer in our world. Okay, here's the thing. I'm sure she's going to get her powers back because I cannot continue the show with 11 being normal. It's such a giant plot point in the show, her having powers, that I cannot believe the Duffer Brothers will leave her powerless for long, and she will find some way to get them back. So that is pretty much my theory simplified and clarified, because the way I filmed it before didn't really make sense, and I didn't have all the logistics totally planned out as well as I do now that I've thought about it even a little bit longer. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. If you liked it, please hit that thumbs up button down there. Let's get this video to like a few hundred views too, because that is insane. I am so happy that you guys loved my last video as much as I liked to create it. And yeah, that just makes me super grateful. If you guys are not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button down there. I will keep on making videos like this if this is what you like. So let me know in the comments if you like videos like this, and I will make more of them. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.